I finally thank God for my wife and my family who are also here, and my church family, the New Sunlight Baptist Church family. I love you all. I'm asking now that you meet me in the book of Judges while we're standing. Please meet me in the 16th chapter of the book of Judges. I asked my wife the other day, I said, now you have prayed for me, right? And then I told her, I thought to myself right after, I said, well, as long as she's praying, then even if I flunk in public, I can come home to somebody that wants me to be there. So whatever happens, I'm going back home to her. Amen. Her name is Alexis, and she's right over there. Amen. I want a home, not just a house, to go home. Amen. Judges 16, I'll commence at verse 18. I'm reading the English Standard Version, but please follow in whatever version of translation you have. It reads this way: when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called the lords of the Philistines, saying, come again, for he has told me all his heart. Then the lords of the Philistines came up to her and brought the money in their hands. She made him sleep on her knees. And she called a man and had him shave off the 7 locks of his head. Then she began to torment him, and his strength left him. And she said, the Philistines are upon you, Samson. And he awoke from his sleep and said, I will go out as at other times and shake myself free. But he did not know that the Lord had left him. Woo. Woo. I'm always frightened when I read that. And finally, the Philistines seized him, gouged out his eyes, and brought him down to Gaza, bound him with bronze shackles, and he ground at the mill in the prison. But the hair of his head began to grow again after it had been shaved. And with your prayers and God's guidance on today, I pray I can preach from the subject, growing pains. You may be seated in God's presence.
Help yourself, Doc. Help yourself, man.
Growing pains. One of the more interesting medical mysteries that is still disputed even to this day, dismissed by some and advocated by others, is a condition that was coined by Dr. Marcel Duchamp in 1823, known as growing pains.
Well,
growing pains refers to what some espouse is a problem with the musculoskeletal system. It refers to the phenomenon of children, normally between the ages of 2 and 12 years old, suffering from pains in their legs. It's disputed because research has not been conclusive enough by enough physicians and medical professionals to say with certainty that the pain is connected with the growth. But since we grow while we're sleeping, and since many children have reported to suffer from pain at night in their legs, some still call it growing pains. We don't know if growing pains are real. We know the pain is real, but we don't know if the pain is connected to the growth. But what we do know, young people today, and all who are assembled, that is real, is that there are challenges with growing up as a child of
Talk.
I watched an interview recently in which Angela and Vanessa Simmons, who have been some of the stars of the reality show Growing Up Hip Hop. Angela Simmons said in an interview that many people forget and take for granted that even though we are the children of moguls and entertainers and celebrities, that we still have real challenges. She said, growing up hip-hop has not always been easy. I've come to say that likewise, spiritual growth and development is not always easy. But I've come to say very quickly, and young people especially, that it is essential. It is essential, young people, that we grow and develop spiritually, not just financially, not just socially, not just physically, not just relationally. It's important that we grow not just in terms of our intellectual prowess, not just in terms of our ability to socialize and to move up the ranks in your school and to get a job one day and to grow a financial portfolio and to grow into a place where you can own a home and own a car and shop at Dillard's and get your suits tailor made and wear nice shoes and brand new J's and that new bag and all of those things so you can look fresh and fly and be all the things that you want to be. All that's fine, but make sure you don't forget, young people, to grow up spiritually. Because it's essential that you grow spiritually anytime you dare to be a follower and not just a fan of Jesus Christ. Because President Talbert, Kyle Idleman wrote the book that basically says we have a whole lot of folk in America who are fans of Jesus. Because they gather in sanctuaries like folk gather right now in stadiums to watch the game. But when God doesn't act according to your schedule, according to your prayer requests at the time you requested, then some of us get mad with God, and like fans, we pout and frown and mumble and complain and criticize. Come on, don't look at me like that, like you don't know what I'm talking about. But we walk out and sometimes risk walking away from the God that brought us, the God that woke us up this morning, the God that started you on your way, the God that kept food on your table, the God that kept watch over your house last night, all because sometimes God doesn't operate according to our expectation. So young people, don't be a fan, be a follower. Because sometimes God isn't going to do it the way you thought, but don't stop walking with Him. Because we have some grandmamas and some big mamas and some pawpaws and some aunties and uncles that are in here right now who ought to be able to wave your hand and testify on behalf of God in front of these young people that if you stay with the Lord long enough, if you stay with God long enough, He'll show up and He'll show out. It's sometimes challenging, but it's always necessary to prioritize our lives, young people, in a way, here it is, that pleases God. That's all I've come to say. Young people, if you don't remember anything else, remember that Reverend Al said this: prioritize your life in a way that pleases God. You're going to have some problems, you're going to have some hardships, you're going to have some teachers that don't want you to succeed, you're going to have some folk that look like you and some folk that don't look like you, that don't want you to get ahead, to move up, to be blessed and prosperous. But guess what? If God opens a door, no man or woman can close. pastor of the Moody Church in Chicago, Illinois, once said, and I quote, "There are no shortcuts to spiritual maturity." He said it takes time to be holy. That you're going to have to go through some things. Because we can be called holy, but we got to live holy. See, I can read the scripture, but you're going to have to sooner or later, young people, live the scripture. And you can't only live it when the sun is shining. You can't only live it when the weather is good. And you can't only sing in the choir when all your bills are paid one day when you have to pay them by yourself. But you're going to have to learn how to sing your song even when you're sad, and even when you're discouraged, and even when God has not delivered you yet. But the key word is yet, because again, if you stay with God long enough, He'll show up and He'll show out if you don't walk away from it. That's right. Growing pains. I'm trying to hurry and cut across. You see, the Bible is littered with people who knew about growing pains. Job knew something about growing pains. The Bible says that he said, "I go forward, but He's not there. I'm looking for God, and I turn backwards, but young people, He's not there." He said, "I look to my left and my right, and I can't see Him." But here's what Job said, young people, but He knows. I don't know where He is, but He knows where I am. And because He knows the way, the journey, the course, the path that I take, then I shall come forth when it's time. Jesus knew about growing pains. And He taught His disciples likewise, because He said, "I am the true vine. Come on. My Father is the vine dresser. Every branch in me that does not bear fruit, He takes away." Yeah. But watch this, young people. Every branch that is bearing fruit, every branch that is productive, in other words, translation 2019, anybody who is doing something for the Lord, here's what Jesus says is going to happen. You're going to be pruned. You're going to be cut on. Watch this, so that He can get rid of excess in your life and ensure that you keep producing. Growing pains. Paul knew about growing pains.
Talk, sir.
Paul said, "We rejoice in suffering, knowing, young people, that suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character. Character will produce hope. And hope will not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us." So bottom line, young people, all I'm saying today is there's no way around the difficult reality of experiencing growing pains. The pains that are associated with growth and development and maturity in Christ Jesus. And in our text today, this is very evident. Because when you look at this text that we're going to consider today, I want to call your attention to verse 21, which says, "The Philistines seized him, gouged his eyes out, brought him down to Gaza, bound him with bronze shackles, and he was working, doing manual labor in the prison." My question to the text and to you all is, how did Samson, one of the strongest men to ever live, wind up with his eyes gouged out, his limbs bound with shackles, and find himself stuck doing manual labor in a prison? Can we contextualize this?
Yeah. Help yourself.
How are so many of our young brothers and sisters bound, not able to see, not able to move, and forced to live beneath the level of their potential? Doing manual labor on a daily basis just to make ends meet, but not going anywhere, stuck, stifled, where they are. How how do we end up there? How do we end up with the pain of laboring and not being able to be liberated? Just working, just hustling, just grinding like Samson was, with pain, hardship, challenge, frustration, but no progress.
My God.
We have some gifted and talented young people in here right now, and I'm going to slide this in. We need to celebrate them in here, because if we don't, somebody out there is going to do it, and it's going to be for a different reason. And here's the other thing: we can't criticize them when they get out there if we fail to celebrate them while they're in here. So if any adults, you can just take 5 seconds and show the young people, keep doing what you're doing. Keep singing like you're singing. Keep praying like you're praying. God has something special in store. There's not yet a hit.
Yes, sir.
See, some grown folk won't stand and clap, but they'll stand and point fingers. And young folk don't want you to point their finger unless you use your thumb to point back at yourself. Because they want to know that you can just admit. They already know that you were there. You were there at your homecoming extravaganza. You were there at that party. You were there at the club at one time. You were there on a late Saturday night and early Sunday morning. But God has brought you into the sanctuary and brought you home earlier on Saturday night. Grace brings you into the sanctuary after sin kept you out. I'm not in this pulpit because I'm so good. I'm standing here because he's looked beyond my fault. I gotta keep going. I'm getting too carried away. Apologize, Mr. President. Here's what we need to figure out. What brought about the situation as it is? What is it that we can learn about spiritual maturity and the growing pains that many of us will encounter and that Samson is encountering? I need you to understand, first of all, young people and church and community, that we need to understand Samson's costly decision. He had some costly decisions, because in verse 18, the text says that he told Delilah all his heart.
Yep.
Very quickly, Samson's relationship with Delilah reflects his decision to compromise his values. Young people, walk with me. As a Nazarite, Samson was to refuse alcohol, refrain from touching dead things, and never cut his hair. These 3 imperatives provided the parameters within which his life was to be lived. When we translate what this really means, we discover that these were not merely rigid rules to keep Samson from enjoying his life, but they were parameters that would protect Samson from the deceptive yet powerful lure of sin. Thank you, Holy Ghost. Genesis 4 says that Cain, who was frowning in his face and whose countenance had fallen because God had accepted his brother Abel's offering but had dismissed and rejected his, because he gave a good offering but not a great, he didn't give his best like his brother. And the Bible says that you hear the voice saying, Cain, why are you frowning? Why do you look so down and distraught and distressed? He said, be aware that sin is crouching at the door, and sin wants to come in and take over and consume your very life. That's what happens when we find ourselves compromising our values. We become overwhelmed by the lure of sin. God wanted Samson composed in his state of mind, consecrated in his interactions, and distinguished in his appearance. This was the significance of not drinking alcohol, not touching dead things, and not cutting his hair. God knew if Samson could commit himself to this godly way of life, then he could be used as an instrument for great purposes. The author James MacDonald says it this way: Samson was incomparably strong as long as he was unusually yielded. Samson was strong as long as he stayed yielded, humbled, and surrendered in his spiritual walk.
Yes, sir.
But we find out that Samson decided to yield to his own sensual and self-seeking desires, and his life has now become an embarrassment to the God who has so magnificently fashioned him into the man that he was. So Samson's relationship represented his compromise of values. Compromised his values. She didn't have the same values, wasn't from the same place, didn't have the same culture, didn't come from the same community. You got to be careful, brothers and sisters, about strange brothers and sisters. You're not too young to understand this. Be careful who you hook up with, who you socialize with, who you hold hands with, who you kick and FaceTime and post and like and take pictures with, who you Snapchat with. Be careful. Because some of your friends may not have the same upbringing, may not have the same values, may not have the same convictions that you have. And you'll get out there and be stuck, and they'll be on their merry way. And you'll be wondering why they left you behind. That's Samson's relationship, compromise. But Samson's revelation to Delilah reflected his decision to be careless and become vulnerable. He told her all his heart. Samson was vulnerable, first of all, to exploitation. Because Delilah used him. Any adults in here ever felt like somebody took advantage of you? You know the feeling of somebody presenting themselves one way, and then by the end of that interaction, they have an ulterior motive at work. That's called exploitation. And young people, if you're not careful, you'll hook up with some folk that will use you. Because the text says that when Delilah saw that he told her all his heart, she called the Philistines that she had made a deal with, and they showed up, brought her the money, and then she put him to sleep, and she began to torment him, and his strength left him. She used him. Be careful about blindly, aimlessly going through life, because you can wind up being used by folk. But you know what else Samson was vulnerable to? He was vulnerable also to incarceration. Because not only did Delilah use him, but God refused him. Let me show it to you. The text says that she told him the Philistines are here, Samson, and he awoke, and he said to himself, I'm going to get up like every other time, and I'm going to shake myself free. But he did not know that God had left him. He had done so much that God reached the point. Now that's a conundrum theologically. What does that mean? How can God leave if he's always present? Let me help you. God can leave and still be present, because while he's omnipresent, he's always also localized in presence, which means he can show up at specific times and places in a special way for you and for me, and favor our lives with his presence. But if he ever backs up, we lose his favor. He's still eternally present. But we have lost the favor of his presence. And that's what happened to Samson. Delilah used him, and God finally said, I refuse. to be in your presence. I don't ever want God, young people, to refuse to favor me with his presence. But that's costly decisions. As I move in a quick fashion, not only did Samson have costly decisions, but his growing pains also resulted from his comfort with dysfunction.
Preach, man.
Samson became comfortable with dysfunction. What does that mean, young people? Translation. Samson got comfortable living his life in a way he had no business living. But here's the key. Things are normally gradual and not instantaneous. In other words, I don't become addicted to something normally right away. There are some drugs that are powerful enough that you can become addicted after the first hit. But normally alcoholics and some of the other controlled substances, it normally takes a little time for you to become addicted to something because it's a gradual downward spiral. And Samson had a gradual downward spiral. He spent too much time with people he had no business spending time with, in places he had no business spending time in, and gradually, eventually, God got fed up and said, I'm not being in the room with you anymore. Samson's decisions highlight what he did, which was commit the sin of disobedience. But Samson's comfort with dysfunction shows us why he did it. And this was because not of disobedience, but of indulgence. What's indulgence, young people? The satisfaction of your desires with no regard for the consequences.
Pretty much.
And young people, the adults in here, including me, we've all been guilty of it before. Indulgence. Where we allow ourselves to just be consumed in our impulse and appetite and desire for stuff that we know is harmful and detrimental. Verse 19 says she made him go to sleep.
Come on here.
On her knees.
Go to sleep.
He fell asleep. You understand? In her lap. It indicates that whatever took place, whatever he did with her,
Come on here.
listen to me, young people, and whatever she did with him, because you watched it on TV and your phone anyway, so we can talk straight tonight. Whatever they did had such an effect on him that it put him to sleep. And she's been asking him, Samson, why don't you tell me the source of your strength? But he was so consumed with his impulse to fulfill his mistakes. Everybody in here has made mistakes, bad choices. And some of the adults in here ought to help me testify that it can cost you something when you become comfortable in dysfunctional environments.
Yeah, you talking, Doc.
All his relationships were dysfunctional. His first wife from Timnah, who was a Philistine, the prostitute from Gaza, and now Delilah. They all had one thing in common. None of them could appreciate or identify with his customs, his convictions, his training, or his traditions. Everything that produced him, he turned his back on to have a good time with them. We must be careful about attaching ourselves to people and taking up residence in places that leave us in pitiful and painful positions. I'm almost done. I know you're ready for me to be quiet. I'm going to sit down. But we eventually pay a high price when we accommodate destructive patterns of behavior in our lives, young people, and in the lives of people around us. And this isn't just for young people, this is for all the grown folk here too. Because we are dealing in this country right now with what we're dealing with. Because for too long, there's been a comfort with dysfunction.
Talk, sir.
It's King Weekend. So if I never preach again, I'll just go ahead and take my shot right now. There's an insanity attached to our national politics right now. That we have a government that remains shut down. And folk are literally having to figure out where their next meal's coming from after they get off from a job that's not paying. But America is getting what many, not all, voted for. We have some victims in America right now. But can I tell you this, on King Weekend, we also have some co-conspirators. Because you are a co-conspirator in your own oppression and exploitation if you vote for a man that told you what he told you when he was running and you still put him in the office. And you got here, and God bless you, but you got some co-workers and you got some cousins in there that were apathetic and indifferent, and then they found out when it was too late that we let Donald Trump get in the way. Comfort with dysfunction. We've got some inconsistencies, America, in our justice system. Words like criminality and pathology and zero tolerance were used during the drug epidemic of the 80s and the aftermath in the 90s. But have you noticed how the verbiage has changed? See how some of us act right there? Because now we have a different crisis. And words like empathy and addiction assistance and pathways into rehabilitation are being used. All I'm saying is what I'm saying on King Weekend, and that is everybody, regardless of what complexion their skin is, needs the same empathy, the same compassion, and the same pathway, the same opportunity. That's why I pray for our mayor, I pray for the chief, I pray for the DA, I pray for the sheriff, because we need them, watch this, to do it right. And I'm saying, if I get in trouble, we need y'all to do it right. Because you can't have a black man gunned down and no longer alive, and have another brother of a different mother and different pigmentation walking into the same kind of gas station, not with a pistol but with a rifle, and he's still walking around. Cannot become something we're comfortable with. All of you want to do right, but do right.
Help yourself.
Since I'm in trouble, I'm going to go here too. Forgive me, Mr. President. And Mr. President. We have two presidents. This surviving R. Kelly fallout. It has created quite an abundance of outrage.
Come on here.
And rightfully so. The outrage is certainly warranted when it comes to anyone who coerces, abuses, and traumatizes others for their own twisted gratification. However, surviving R. Kelly is misleading, because R. Kelly is just one individual, but he represents an industry. R. Kelly is an individual. He represents an industry. He represents a culture. He represents a structure, a system, where folk get paid to do what they do and stay silent. Where deceit and dysfunction thrive. So that our babies are now vulnerable to those in positions of power who are either explicit or complicit with their silence. And I'm going to add this, parents, too many parents. I'm listening and watching this, and God help them. I can't imagine being in their position. And my prayers go out to them. But they're sitting there in the interview, and they're telling the interviewer how they took their daughter to the concert for R. Kelly, and they're standing there in front of R. Kelly, and he's serenading their 17-year-old daughter. Okay, fine. But then somehow she goes backstage without them. Got a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. They're not going backstage with anybody if I don't know about it. And they're not going back there without me or their mother being there. I don't care how much you love his singing. See, we've got to take responsibility also for our part in our communities. When we go to concerts and we shuck and jive until the documentary comes out. Now we want to be outraged. Comfort with dysfunction. He's just a brother who's sick because he was traumatized, abused, and mistreated and taken advantage of himself, as he revealed when he was younger for several years, and all he's doing is replicating. He's just reliving and forcing somebody else to live through the hurt that he's bottled up all these years. It's not an excuse, it's an explanation. So the final thing I'm going to say about it is, listen, just because the young person has the gift, the talent, the voice, and you become a multi-millionaire, don't be so big, young people, that you forget that you need your parents, you need your grandparents to help show you how to walk through this life. Because that's what happened. We live in a culture full of greed and materialism, so that when the young celebrities made it big, their parents could no longer say anything to them. Because they just said to themselves, well, we're millionaires now, so I'm going to let you go out and hang out as long as you want to, as long as you keep bringing in the bread. Comfort with dysfunction.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I'm done because I see some of you all upset with me. That's all right. Like I said, I'm going home. And prayerfully, I'm going to come back here next week to some people that love me. In Jesus' name. When I'm done with this, Samson had costly decisions. Samson had comfort with dysfunction.
Yeah, man.
But now we see that there's confirmation of his distinction. Because the text says the hair on his head.
Yeah.
I'm trying to tame myself. Began to grow again after it had already been cut.
That's grace right
after it had been shaved. And so Samson had made some mistakes.
Yeah.
But Samson had made every mistake that could be made.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he was set aside at an early age to represent the Lord. But here's the shout-worthy news. And I'm out of here. Despite how much Samson had made mistakes, Samson's mistakes could not nullify the mercy of God in his life. Because the text says that his hair began to grow. The truth is, all of us are living witnesses of verse 22. And what we need to do right now is testify to our young people that God saved us just like he allowed Samson to have a redemptive moment. What God has done after we have made mistakes. After we had made some poor decisions. But the Lord allowed our hair to grow back. The Lord allowed your hair to grow back. And because he allowed your hair to grow back after it had been shaved, you ought to give God praise for how merciful he's been. I said you ought to give God praise for how merciful he's been. Because if it had not been for the Lord on our side, where would we be? Do I have anybody in here? Help me. Give God praise. Because he's merciful. I said because he's merciful. Do I have anybody here that knows he's worthy? I said, do you know he's worthy? I said, is he worthy? He's worthy. Told that boy, help me get to the pillar. I can't see, so help me stretch my hand. And he called out to God, God, one last time, give me strength to do your will. And while he fell dead and appeared defeated, he had a redemptive moment, even though he had regrettable circumstances. And he's not the only one who performed redemption in the midst of regrettable activity.
I see it. I see it.
Not alone, but there was another man who performed redemption in the midst of regrettable activity. And his name is Jesus. Because on the cross he said, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. And do I have anybody here that can just give God and give heaven a shout? Even after you made some mistakes, had some costly decisions, became comfortable in dysfunction. Young people, you're going to have some growing pains. But if you stay with God,
Yeah, man.
God's mercy
Yes, sir.
will give you possibility and hope, even if you make some choices that you're ashamed of along the way. God bless you and keep you.